another content of my YouTube channel. And of course, before we begin discussing for today's content, I would like to thank all my 200 subscribers! Yay! So for 2 weeks, mayroon na po tayong 200 subscribers. At sa mga hindi pa po nakapag-subscribe, don't forget to subscribe! Since academic year 2020-2021 will begin very soon, yes po, in our school, magsisimula na po kami by August 24. And because we will be missing our students to come in the classroom, we will be talking about 10 of the most common redundancies in the classroom. Yes po, due to the global pandemic, there will be no face-to-face classes at the moment, and because of that, we will be missing our students. And of course, when we talk about classroom setup of teaching and learning, marami po nangyayari dyan. And this time, I will be giving you some of the most common redundancies na ginagamit in the classroom. Before that, what is redundancy? So redundancy is actually using unnecessary text in a statement. It is actually repeating words of the same meaning in a statement. Yung mga words na hindi na natin kailangan. Pero minsan, yung mga estudyante or even teachers use them kasi nga, sometimes they add confusion or minsan talagang hindi lang natin alam na redundant na pala ang mga iyon. Redundancy number 1, this is commonly used in greetings. So some students would say, a pleasant good morning, ma'am, or a pleasant good afternoon, ma'am. So just take notice in the statement, a pleasant good morning. So gumamit na tayo ng pleasant, gumamit pa rin tayo ng good. When we say pleasant, that means good or something that is likable. At pag sinabi naman natin good, is something that is proper or something that is pleasant. So when we say a pleasant good morning or a pleasant good afternoon, parang sinasabi na natin a good good morning or a pleasant pleasant morning. Same with a good good afternoon or a pleasant pleasant afternoon. So instead of saying a pleasant good morning, why not just use a pleasant morning or a good morning? Redundancy number 2, kindly please. Kindly please pass your papers. So when we use kindly, it is already asking someone to do something in a gentle manner. Same with using the magic word please, right? So if you will say kindly please, same with saying kindly kindly or please please please. So instead of saying kindly please pass the papers, why not just say kindly pass the papers or please pass the papers? Redundancy number 3, our third redundancy, kadalasang ginagamit natin when we do our experiments or when we make a statement after our findings and recommendations in our thesis or researches. Ito yung therefore, I conclude. Yes po, yung therefore at I conclude ay pareho po siyang may ibig sabihin na to come up with a decision after a period of thought. So, instead of saying therefore, I conclude, you just say therefore or I conclude. Example, you would say therefore, light travels faster than sound, or I conclude that light travels faster than sound. So, wala na po yung therefore, I conclude. T number 4, our fourth redundancy has something to do with so and very. Yes po, some are using so and very on the same statement. Example, I am so very sorry. So take note that so and very are both used as intensifiers. Kaya hindi po natin siya pwedeng gamitin in one statement because they have the same meaning. So instead of saying, I am so very sorry, why not just say, I am so sorry or I am very sorry. Redundancy number 5. So, ang redundancy number 5 natin is somewhat connected with our redundancy number 4. If in number 4, we discuss about so and very, this time we will be discussing the use of 2 comparative adjectives in a sentence. Example, today, I am more happier than yesterday. So if you could observe, today I am more happier than yesterday. So gumamit po tayo ng more, which is already a comparative adjective, and we also use happier, which is a comparative adjective of the word happy. So if an adjective has already a comparative form, then we need not to use more. So instead of saying today, I am more happier than yesterday, we will just say today, I am happier than yesterday. See, redundancy number 6. Our redundancy number 6 has something to do with the simple instructions that some teachers are using in the classroom or in a class. Ito yung pag sinasabi ng teacher, class, hands forward. So how do we do hands forward, and is hands forward right? Of course po, hands forward is not right if what we wanted our students to do is like this, because this is not hands forward. Instead, we are asking our students to stretch their arms. So instead of saying hands forward, we will say arms forward. Kasi pag sabihin po natin hands forward, ganito po yung mangyayari sa kanila. So if you wanted our students to stretch or extend their arms, instead of saying hands forward, we will say arms forward. The same po yan sa hands sideward, which is dapat arms sideward. Redundancy number 7. For our 7th redundancy, minsan ginagamit ito ng mga students when they're asked to give an example or a sample of their own about a certain topic or concept at hand. So, there are some students who would say, ma'am, just like for example. So, just like for example. Just like and for example both expresses a statement to give an example or a sample of something or a concept or a topic. So, instead of saying just like for example, why not just say just like or for example? So you have to choose between the two. If you're going to use just like or you will going to use for example. So example, you will be saying, ma'am, just like a flower, or for example, a flower. So instead of using just like for example, you just retain one and use them properly in a statement. Redundancy number 8. Yes, for our 8th redundancy, minsan ginagamit ito ng mga estudyante in explaining a particular concept or a term. So, ang sinasabi ng mga estudyante is basic fundamental. So, minsan narinig ko na ginagamit ng mga estudyante yan, basic fundamental. Example, basic fundamental movement. So, take note that basic means important or necessary, while fundamental also means basic or important. So if you will say basic fundamental, it is just like saying basic or fundamental. So instead of using both terms in one statement, you just eliminate one and use the other one. For our redundancy number 9, we will be discussing about a straightened instruction that teachers use in a classroom when giving an exam or a quiz. And most students are takot sila dito. When a teacher would say, I will repeat the question once. So when we say repeat the question once, the teacher is telling the student that she will be giving the same statement 2 times. Because repeat means to say again or deliver the statement again. So it is very wrong to say, I will repeat the question twice. Because if you will say repeat the question twice, you are saying to the students that you will be giving the same statement for the 4th time. So instead of saying repeat the question twice, just say repeat the question once. Our 10th redundancy has something to do with what our students love to erase before we officially conclude our classes or the teaching and learning process. Ito yung sasabi nila, ma'am, may I ask a question? So why is it redundant? Of course, because we're already using the word ask. At the same time, we are using the word question. Of course, hindi naman tayo pwedeng magtanong ng hindi tanong. So instead of saying, I would like to ask a question, you may say, I would like to ask something. And of course, before we leave the classroom, don't forget to erase the writings on the board. Yes, you heard me right? Hindi po natin pwede gamitin ng erase the board kasi if you will going to erase the board, wala na po tayong gagamitin sa ating mga klase. So instead of saying erase the board, just say erase the writings on the board. So there you go, guys. So those are the 10 most common redundancies inside the classroom. And of course, talking about classroom, I'm starting to miss the typical class setup, which is having students in front of me and of course, doing something inside the classroom, having interaction with the students. So I just hope the global pandemic will end so that all the students will come back to school and we will have more of face-to-face classes, because I believe face-to-face classes are more effective than online classes. So that's it for now, guys, and of course, have a good day!